Life has a strange way of teaching us its most important lessons. Not when we're ready for them, not when they're convenient, and often not until we've already made the mistake. We spend years chasing things we think will make us happy, proving ourselves to people whose opinions won't matter later, and postponing the moments that actually make life meaningful. Then one day, we look back and realize something painful. We knew what mattered all along. We just didn't understand it yet. Some lessons arrive only after experience has taken away our illusions. We learn them through relationships that ended, opportunities we ignored, dreams we abandoned, and years that passed faster than we expected. The difficult part isn't learning the lesson. The difficult part is realizing how much earlier we could have learned it. The first lesson is simple. Life moves faster than you think. When you're young, a year feels enormous. 10 years feels almost impossible to imagine. But eventually, years begin disappearing into memories. Monday becomes Friday. One birthday becomes another. A new year arrives before you finish processing the previous one. And suddenly, you realize that time wasn't waiting for you to figure everything out. We often behave as if we have unlimited time. We'll call that person tomorrow. We'll start the project next month. We'll travel when work becomes easier. We'll spend more time with our family when we're less busy. But tomorrow has a habit of becoming next year, and next year has a habit of becoming a decade. One of the hardest lessons is that the people you love will not always be there. Parents grow older, friends move away, children grow up. People who once seemed permanent eventually become memories. That's why time with the people who matter should never be treated as leftover time. Years later, you rarely remember the extra hours you spent working. You remember conversations, road trips, family dinners, random jokes, the ordinary evenings that seemed unimportant at the time. We often discover too late that ordinary moments were actually the extraordinary parts of our lives. Another lesson life teaches us too late is that not everyone is meant to stay. Some people enter your life for a season. Some stay for years. Some teach you something and disappear. And some relationships end not because either person is evil, but because both people have changed. We sometimes hold onto relationships simply because we're afraid of losing the history attached to them. But history isn't the same thing as compatibility. You can appreciate what someone meant to you while accepting that they no longer belong in the next chapter of your life. Letting go isn't always giving up. Sometimes letting go is accepting reality. It's understanding that you cannot force someone to stay, force someone to love you, or force a situation to become what you imagined. Peace often begins when you stop fighting what you cannot control. Then there's the lesson about success. Many people spend years believing that success means reaching a certain income, title, house, or level of recognition. They climb higher and higher only to discover that the ladder was leaning against the wrong wall. Achievement can give you comfort, freedom, and opportunities, but achievement alone cannot tell you why you're alive. You can accomplish everything society told you to want and still wake up wondering why you feel empty. Sometimes the life you actually want is quieter than the life you're trying to impress people with. You may discover that peace matters more than status, freedom matters more than recognition, meaning matters more than applause. Another lesson is that comparison is one of the fastest ways to become dissatisfied with your own life. You compare your beginning to someone else's middle. You compare your private struggles with their public achievements. You compare your ordinary Tuesday with their carefully selected highlight. Your life doesn't need to look like anyone else's. There is no universal schedule for success. Some people find their direction early. Others discover it after years of uncertainty. Some build careers first. Others build families. Some travel the world. Others find meaning close to home. Life also teaches us that you don't need to have everything figured out. We put enormous pressure on ourselves to know exactly where we're going. But clarity often comes from movement. You don't always discover the path by thinking about it. Sometimes you discover it by walking. You can change direction. You can start again. You can learn something new at 30, 40, 50, or beyond. A wrong turn doesn't mean the journey is over. It simply means you've learned something about the road. One of the most painful lessons is that failure isn't proof that you are incapable. Failure is information. It tells you what didn't work. It reveals weaknesses. It exposes assumptions. Sometimes it forces you to build skills you would never have developed if everything had gone according to plan. We often wish we could erase our mistakes. But if you erase every mistake, you also erase much of the wisdom that came from making them. The person you become after surviving difficult seasons is often stronger and wiser than the person who entered them. Life also teaches us that asking for help is not weakness. You don't have to carry everything alone. Sometimes the strongest thing you can say is, I don't know what to do. The right conversation at the right time can save years of unnecessary struggle. Choose your people carefully. The people around you influence what you believe is normal. They influence your habits, your confidence, your ambitions, and even your standards. A supportive environment can make growth easier. A destructive environment can make even simple progress feel impossible. Another lesson comes from the ordinary things we overlook. Happiness is rarely one giant event. It's built from small experiences repeated consistently. A good meal, a morning walk, meaningful work, laughter with someone you love, enough sleep, and a quiet moment when nobody needs anything from you. We spend so much time searching for extraordinary experiences that we sometimes miss the extraordinary nature of being alive. The ability to wake up, to breathe, to walk outside, to hear someone you love laugh. These things become invisible because they're familiar, but familiar doesn't mean insignificant. Perhaps the most important lesson is that you cannot live your life entirely for other people's approval. Someone will always disagree with you. Someone will always judge you. Someone will always think you're doing too much, too little, too early, or too late. Eventually, you have to decide whose voice matters most. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves a response. And not every person who misunderstands you needs to be convinced. Life will also teach you that control is an illusion. You can plan carefully and still encounter unexpected events. You can work hard and still lose. You can love someone deeply and still lose them. The goal isn't to control everything. The goal is to become capable of adapting when life changes the plan. Hard seasons eventually teach you something comfort never could. You are capable of more than you thought. Struggle reveals strength that comfort keeps hidden. It shows you that you can survive uncertainty, rebuild after disappointment, and continue even when motivation disappears. You don't need to solve your entire life today. Sometimes you only need to take the next step, then another. Progress rarely looks dramatic while you're living through it, but small decisions repeated over months and years can completely transform a life. If life could speak to you years from now, perhaps it would tell you this: stop waiting for the perfect moment. Call the person you love. Take the trip. Start the project. Say what you mean. Apologize when you're wrong. Leave when something is destroying you. Begin before you're ready. The lessons we learn too late don't have to remain late forever. If you're hearing them now, you still have time. Time to change what needs changing. Time to appreciate what you've been overlooking. Time to forgive yourself for the mistakes you made when you didn't know what you know today. Because perhaps that's the greatest lesson of all. You don't have to wait until life teaches you something painfully. You can listen now. Time is precious. People matter. Your health matters. Your peace matters. Your dreams matter. And the life you're waiting to start is already happening. So don't wait until you're older to appreciate today. Don't wait until someone has got to tell them you love them. Don't wait until you've lost everything to understand what you had. Learn the lessons now. Live deliberately. Love deeply. And make sure that when you look back one day, you won't wish you had started living sooner.